Hey everyone! I have not said that in a minute because I have not posted in a couple weeks. I posted a few videos a couple, 2.5 weeks ago, and YouTube decided that they went against something and they took them down, and I have two copyright strikes on my thing, and they didn't let me upload for 2 weeks. I don't even know. What I uploaded was a Shadowhunters reaction and a K-pop reaction thing and an album unboxing, and I don't know why that one was flagged because there was no copyright in that. It wasn't like I posted anything that I haven't been posting for the past 3 years, but I don't know what happened with that. So I am back, and I thought since I was robbed of half of October with not being able to upload stuff, that today and tomorrow I would upload a couple of spooky videos. So this one is going to be a video about my favorite top 10 scary movies, and tomorrow I'm going to do a Halloween tag where I just grabbed a bunch of questions from a bunch of different tags that I liked and put them all together. But yeah, so Halloween is one of my favorite, and I apologize for the glare, that's very annoying. But Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. I think Halloween and Christmas might be my favorite times of the year, just because of everything and how everything looks. I absolutely love scary movies. I love watching something that will keep me on the edge of my seat and that will give me a jump scare. And so I kind of just try and watch as many as I can. I go on Netflix sometimes, you know how they have that horror and thriller tag section, whatever. I'll just go on there and find some random ones. That's how I found a couple of my favorites that are on this list. But yeah, like I said, I just really like the suspense. That's what I like. I like this. I like more thriller type scary movies more than gore and just bleh. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. These aren't not necessarily in an order, but the ones that are I really like, these are my favorites. I have more than these that I like, but these are my favorite ones. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to talk about is The Conjuring. And I put The Conjuring, and I mean The Conjuring #1, the second one, and the Annabelle trilogy. They're all going to be trilogies, I guess. So I have a funny little story with this one. So like I said, I like scary movies. I like movies in general. I'm quite the cinephile. Is that the word? So because of this, I like to just every now and then when they come out, because new movies are coming out all the time, I like to just sit and binge watch all the trailers for movies that are coming out soon. So one dark and scary night, I was by myself. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was binge watching all my trailers, and I stumbled upon The Conjuring. I'm like, ooh, new scary movie. Cool, let's watch the trailer. So I watched it, and if you've seen the trailer, if you've seen the movie, you know the part about the... So I'm on my bed, I'm just watching it, and that part, they put that part in the trailer, and I did not see that coming at all. So in the dark, it's cold, by myself. It wasn't that cold, but I'm by myself in the dark, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the clappy part happens, and I get so scared. I jump, and I'm just that happened. I need to go and watch cartoons or something so that I can return back to my normal self. That I really liked the movie from that trailer, so we went to go. It came out on my birthday that year, July 19th, and we went to go watch it for my birthday. I took my family, even the ones who don't like scary movies. I was like, we're gonna watch this. And I loved it, and I really loved the second one. And I just really love Vera Farmiga as an actress, and her in those movies, she's so good, and she's so good at the character that she plays, and just, yeah. Alright, so moving on, the second one that I have here is The Ring, primarily the first one, because I really just... Naomi Watts I really like as an actress. She's in this new, Netflix show, Gypsy, I think it's called, that I watched her in recently, and I really liked it. It was an interesting show. You should check, and if you watched it, let me know. But anyways, I just really like ghost stories. I really like finding out the origin story for the ghost. I like figuring out why things are happening. That's what I really like in stories. And so The Ring, I think it was one of the very first scary movies that I watched, as a kid, and I think that's the one that got me into scary movies, and after that, I just was like, I like that, what else is out there of it? I just really like that story. I know it's based off of, I want to say a Japanese movie, I think, because, in the US, there's a lot of scary movies, The Grudge, and The Eye, and a bunch of stuff that, not, it's not originally American. But I need to, and I actually really need to watch the original Ring movie. That's what I need to do. I just really like the story, and then with the tape, and then the girl in the well, and Amara. I actually went to a haunted trails thing around here where I live last week, and they had Amara running around, and I was like, holla. I didn't say that, I screamed and I ran the other way, but yeah, I just really like that movie, and I think that's the one that got me into scary movies, so that's always on my list. The next one that I have here is The Strangers, and if you've seen The Strangers, you know that this is one of the most psychologically thrilling like scary movies out there. It keeps you on your toes from like the minute the first creak happens in the house that they're living in or staying in. And it's honestly absolutely terrifying, and the ending is something that I also didn't necessarily see coming, and just the events that happen from the first like spook until the end is just, it really, really keeps you on your toes, and it gives me the goosebumps every time, and I've been meaning to rewatch it with like my friends, and it's terrifying. But yeah, that one's always on my list also because it's creepy, and the thing in this movie is people, like crazy evil people, and people are just scary, so leaving it at that. The one that I have here is called Hush, and this is I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but it's on Netflix, and that's where I watched it, and that's where I found it. And it's about a woman, and she's an actress, she's an author, and she lives out in the middle of the woods. She's deaf, and so what happens in this movie is that this woman who is by herself, she's deaf, she gets attacked by like she's in her house, and this guy basically comes and terrorizes her and tries to get into her house and kill her. And so it's the story. It's just the whole movie is her trying to not let that happen, and it's crazy. And the things that she does to escape him, and the things, and like at the end, there's this one like thing that happens that I don't want to spoil it. But if you've seen that movie, let me know. Let me know if it's a favorite of yours or not. I watched this movie like 2 or 3 times. I watched it by myself, and then I watched it with my mom. I was like, we gotta watch this movie. Yeah, it's called Hush, and the actors in it are limited. There's a few, and it's just insane. Like all the scariest movies happen in the middle of nowhere, which is why I'm slightly afraid of living in the middle of nowhere. And I would not like that. I do not like cities, but I also don't like the wild like living. I like camping, I guess, but I don't want to live so isolated. I've always thought that if wherever I settle down and live, I want it to be like on the outskirts of a city. I don't want to live in a city. I do not like crowds and people like that, but I want to have the option of going to places if I feel like it. So, but anyways, I went off on a random tangent of where I want to live in the future, but it's a really good movie, and it's insane. So the next one that I have here is the Purge movies, and so I know people are like, those movies suck and bleh. I think they're really good, and I think they're really good for several reasons. There's a lot of parallels. I think that's the word I want to use. There's a lot of parallels between the things that happen in those movies and things that happen in history and things that happen now. And just the idea of a country and a government that allows their citizens to go all out crazy for 12 hours or whatever. That's a scary and horrifying and terrifying concept, because people are evil, people are crazy, and people are ugh. And so there's 3 movies of these out right now. The first one was good, and I honestly feel like they've gotten better. First one starts with the family and they're getting attacked in their house, and then the second one is that they're a little bit more outside. There's this guy, and then the third one is that like government official and she's being attacked. And I just think they're really good, and the way they've done those movies is really good. The way they've escalated the stories, just like I said, the concept of those movies is terrifying. And then especially, I think it was in the last movie where like they were starting to allow foreigners to come into the United States to participate in the Purge. That's scary. And just the things that like the writers and the creators came up with for like people to torture and for people to like, they had parties to celebrate. It's like I've said for like the 5,000 times, it's just an insane concept, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy it from like the perspective of seeing that, you know, it's spooky, and also to see like the kind of creativity and like the evilness that the writers can come up with and stuff, because I feel like it's very the kind of people that these people become on the Purge night. I feel like that seems very possible, and it's just, again, scary. But yeah, so the next one that I'm going to talk about really quick is Scream, and you know, the old-fashioned Scream with a mask. I rewatched this recently. I just think it's such a classic, and it's such a classic slasher film, and just so many movies that have come after it are just, they have a lot to, you know, with the young people, and they get attacked and killed, and the crazy guy with the mask, and I feel like that just all, or it did all stem from that movie. So I just really like it because it's such a classic, and like the ending, if you've never seen it before, obviously, like you wouldn't see it coming just because of the ways that they like lead you to believe things. And one of my best friends, she's like really salty over Randy, and I just think that's kind of funny. The next one that I'm going to talk about is one of my favorites, and that I was actually talking to the Familia about over dinner last night, and it's called The Descent. And so this movie, it came out a long time ago. I don't remember. It's not a very recent movie. Oh my god, I looked back there and I have some clothes drying and hanging, and it kind of scared me. It looked like a person. But anyway, so this movie, I think I either saw it or I heard about it years ago, and then a couple years ago, I found it online, and I was like, you know what? I've been really wanting to watch this movie. So I watched it, and it really scared me. So it's about these girls, these women, and they go, I mean, they're younger, they're like in their 20s probably, and they go out on a girls' night, a whole bunch of them, and they go, but their idea of a girls' like vacation is to go and do exercise and climb in caves. No. You know what a girls' night, a girls' vacation is? It's staying home and watching Say Yes to the Dress for 6 hours, because I've done that a couple times. Several times. Anyways, enough about me and my unhealthy TV habits. But yeah, so these girls, they all go out, they stay in a cabin for the night, and then they go and they start exploring these caves. And these caves were like one of the girls was like, yeah, people said they were really good and scary and whatever. And I'm like, well, that tells you right there not to go in the caves, but they do it anyways, because what would the movie be if they didn't do what people told them not to do? But yeah, so they go in. They start, it's very, and me personally, I'm very claustrophobic. I do not like crowds, like I said. I do not like being in a space where I can't get out. I feel like I can't breathe, and I just don't like just enclosed spaces. It really gives me anxiety. So this movie just really touches on that. And so they're all in these caves, right? And then they're crawling through these tiny spaces, and like the rocks start crumbling in on them, and they get lost, and they start splitting apart. And not only is that scary, but there's these demonic, creepy little vampire creatures inside the caves that attack them. So that's terrifying. And what I really love about this movie is that it's not like, I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of scary movies, but like when the bad thing is coming, there's the music, and she looks away and there's nothing there, and when she looks back, it's gonna be right there. It's not like that. It's terrifying. I'm literally, I don't know if you can't even, I'm getting the goosebumps right now because I'm like, yeah, so in this movie, when the first like creature makes itself known to them, to the audience when I was watching it, I don't know if you do this, but like you ever see something and you get like secondhand scared, like your body reacts first and then you like jump or whatever, like a couple seconds later, like a delayed reaction. That's what happened to me. So the girls, they're lost. They only have their flashlights. It's not like Blair Witch Project kind of filming, which I liked because that can make me a little bit dizzy sometimes. But they're going around and with the flashlights, and all of a sudden you see this thing behind one of the girls, and it's just, it's so creepy. And also what I really love about this movie is that there's a sequel, and usually the sequels to scary movies aren't great, but this is probably my favorite scary movie sequel that I've ever seen, because it's basically just a continuation of the story. If you haven't seen this movie, like, block your ears for about 5 seconds because I'm about to say something. I will put my hand down when I'm done saying this part. But so one of the girls, like, I forget how many survive. I know at least like 2 of them. So one of the girls, she gets out. She finds this is weird. She finds cops. She gets treatment, and then they're like, "Where's all your buddies?" And she's like, "In the caves." And so they make her go back and like go back in the caves, and it's basically just a continuation of the first movie, and it's crazy. Okay, I'm done with the spoilers, but yeah, the second movie is, I don't, this isn't a spoiler, but it's just a continuation of the first movie, and so it just feels like one very long story, and it has the same scary stuff and craziness as the first movie, and it's just amazing. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is called The Orphanage. Technically, it's called El Orfanato, and this is actually a Spanish movie. It's in Spanish, but it's Spanish as in from Spain. So this movie, watched a long time ago. We have it on DVD, but it's about this, well, I mean, family. It's the mother, the husband and wife, and their son. So this family, they go and move into this giant mansion kind of house that the mom used to live in. She was an orphan, and so that house used to be an orphanage, and she used to live there with all, you know, her friends. And so she decides to go and move back in there because the son, I think he has AIDS or something, and so he has to be, you know, protected. He can't really get into things, so he doesn't get sick. And so she wants to keep him like really close, and he's relatively young. He's a little kid. So in this movie, basically what happens is the son goes missing. And so she is, you know, frantically looking for her son. She's trying to find her son. And then all of a sudden she starts hearing creaks and stuff in the house. And she's like, there's a ghost. And so she brings in a woman to look into the ghosts and the spirits of the house and to try and find her son, because something in the house, you know, because something in the house is going to help her find her son. And what I love about this movie is not only the cinematography of the movie, because I feel like that how it's filmed is really nice, but the story is so fascinating, and the ending, like when the truth comes out and the ta-da like moment happens, you want to like pull your hair out. It's that just like, oh my god. I watched it when I watched it the first time, and even when I watched it the second or third time, because like, you know, I don't remember every little detail. I remember a lot when I watch movies, because I just have that kind of memory apparently. When you watch it again, you start piecing the things together, like what happened, because I love it when movies in general, but also scary like thriller movies, talking too much, but like when the ending is so unexpected, but then when you think about it, it makes sense. I don't like it when movies have such an unexpected ending that there was no way to foreshadow it, but when you watch a movie again and then you're like, oh yeah, that's why, and then that, you know, it explains the unexpected ending. That is what I love, and I feel like this movie is one of the best examples of that. So I like honestly recommend this movie so much. It's not so much like scary, like stuff is popping out at you. It's like more thriller, and it's one of those movies that keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it's like, what's gonna happen? Where, like, is she gonna find her son? Like, who knows this and who knows what? And it's just so good. But the second to last one that I'm going to talk about is another one of the very first scary movies that I watched, and it is and it is called Prom Night. This movie I actually also have on DVD. It's a little bit cliche. It's not like the most original movie out there, but I think, again, it was just one of the very first ones that I watched, and I really, really liked the story and the suspense behind it, and just this poor girl, Brittany Snow, is the main character, and she's number one, gorgeous, number two, really good in this movie. And so just the story and her struggle and her life and everything that happened to her is just so sad. And then what happens on prom night is just like the cherry on top of the sundae, and it's crazy. So basically, it's this girl in high school, and this, like, a science teacher or something, he gets obsessed with her, and he, you know, eventually like kills her parents, and she is left alone. She lives with her aunt and uncle, and then come prom night, he gets out of prison and he goes after her again, and it's just from then on, it's insane. But yeah, that's another movie that I really like. Again, it's not super original, it's a little bit cliche. Oh, and Idris Elba's in that movie, and I just love him so much. So yeah, I really like that movie. And the last one that I'm going to talk about, I have a lot of other favorites, but this, I'm going to keep it to 10 because this video is probably already getting long. The last one I'm talking about, the last one that I'm going to talk about is called The Awakening, and this is another movie that I discovered on Netflix, and it's so good. Like I said before, I really, really love ghost stories, and I really love finding out, like, what happened, like what was the truth. In this story, this movie, I think, is another really good example of that. So this woman, she, you know, somebody who doesn't believe in spirits, she doesn't believe in ghosts, and she actually goes to different like fake seance people, like, and she'll debunk them. She'll be like, huh, I heard you knocking under the table. You are fake. And that's what she does. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up to her and he's like, hey, there's this boys like school out in the middle of nowhere that's like experiencing some stuff. Like, would you mind coming out and like helping us out? And it's like a school. There's actual kids in the school at the moment. And so she goes and she starts like doing her thing, asking the kids like, well, who have you seen? What have you heard? What are your experiences? And so she's just trying to figure this out. And then it starts getting really personal for her, and it starts like getting creepy, and she starts doubting herself. And the ending, again, this is another really good an example of a movie where it's like, the ending is really unexpected, but when you think about it, it all makes sense. And that's what I really took away from that movie, and it was just so good. But yeah, it's also kind of like a period kind of thing. Like, it takes place after World War One in England somewhere, and it like the country of England, and it's just really good. And Umbridge is in this movie, which was really random. I forgot about that, and then I watched the trailer again last night, and there she was. She's a cook or something in the movie, and everybody's in on something. Yeah, I definitely recommend it if you want to watch any movies tonight or Halloween night. If you're staying home like me, I'm actually gonna go to the movie theater, but then gonna come back home. But yeah, please let me know, what are your favorite scary movies? Do you even like scary movies? What are you dressing up for Halloween? What is your favorite Halloween tradition? Tell me. But yeah, I think that is it for this video. Like I said at the beginning, I will be doing a Halloween kind of tag tomorrow that I will be posting, and I have a costume. Wait to see what I am. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your patience. I've gotten subscribers while I was being inactive, which is like crazy. I finally hit over like 1,700 subscribers, which is crazy. I hope you have a very fun and safe Halloween. Stay safe out there, you guys, please. And yeah, let me know what you're doing for Halloween also. I'll probably ask that in my video tomorrow. Okay, bye!